welcome you to Coffee with Kelly, and just a little bit about what Coffee with Kelly is, just so you have some context, is this is a global community where it started 2 years ago because of COVID. And I had a thought when the world shut down that I wanted to bring hope to so many that felt left in the dark because of the lockdowns. So I started a Zoom show, and I did it 3 times a week to bring people from all over the world together. It started with 6 people. I was one of the 6 people.
Wow.
And I just had a 1-hour leadership lesson 3 times a week, and I started with a word of the day. And we always pick the word of the day every time we start the conversation. And it represents a theme that we'll talk about. And so it's been going on for 2 years now, Mary. This month we celebrate 2 years of Coffee with Kelly. So it's so nice to have you here as a special guest to learn your story and be a part of our story. And we operate under the core value that just be yourself. We want authenticity, we want organic conversation, and we want to help show many stories around the world of perseverance and courage. And so I couldn't think of a better person to host this month, especially for International Women's Month.
Well, it is an honor to invite by you. And then you say you're looking for something authentic.
Yes.
And then down to earth. I think you're the right person. I'm a very straightforward person.
I love that about you.
I say what I think in my mind. Sometimes it's too blunt, but you have the right person.
Just be yourself.
You. Yes.
Just be yourself, Mary.
Yes.
So I'm going to start with just asking you some questions, and you just share with us so we can help showcase your story. So I'm going to start with, I've been working with a lot of your leaders at Chen for about 1.5 years now, maybe 2 years. And before this interview, I talked to a lot of the women leaders that I work with, and I asked them, I said, if you were to describe Mary Chen in a word, what word would you choose? I'm going to share with you some of the words that they shared with me, okay, Mary? So here's some of the words that your leaders have shared that you represent. Respected, passionate, mission-driven, gracious, empathetic, persistent, and visionary. Those are the words.
Better than I thought.
Those are
Much
the words.
better. The way they say looks like they're looking for a perfect person, but I'm not.
Nobody is, Mary. Nobody is.
It looks like a perfect person with all those kind of ingredients. But you know what? I can only thank God for His grace and mercy for who I am today. And then, remember during the interview, I asked you to ask me a question, right? My question was, if God gave me the choice, if I would live again my life, according to what's happening in my book, what was my answer?
You would not.
I would not. People shocked.
Expand on that. Why would you not?
It's too tough. My life was too tough. But you know what? That's because I'm reflect what happened in my life. So if I go through all the things and I know all the things going to happen, my answer is no. But I did not live all through my life in one day. I live one by one day at a time. And then I started to think about the reason I could do it is because according to the Bible, you only need to live one day at a time. Whatever God gives you in the front of that day, you finish it. You let tomorrow worry tomorrow. So that's pretty much the principle. I'm doing it one day at a time.
That's beautiful. We only have what we have right now. We never know what we're going to get in the future. So cherish what we're given this day.
Yeah, right.
I love that, Mary.
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah.
So you have experienced an incredible journey when you arrived in the U.S. You encountered some really challenging times, hence why you may not want to do it again, including homelessness. Can you share with our followers how that shaped you as a person?
When it's like that homeless stick in my mind, it's just like it keep reminding me about what I had to do with myself. So every time somebody asks me, "You're homeless," the first thing that comes to my mind is how I become homeless, why I became homeless. And then I always remember to become homeless because God, pray to God, take everything away from my husband, from my wife. And then he rather been very poor with me, but had the wife who loved God. So it's when they become that, and God answered his prayer. We really homeless, we had nothing. But what I'm saying is every time homeless, it kept reminding me, that's what my husband, the most important for him is I love my God. Everything else is secondary to him. So if we want to keep our marriage very happy in the right relationship, I have to love God first before I love everyone else, not everything else. So it becomes a triangle. I mean, he loves me, I love him, but we both love God. So it becomes a triangle. That triangle, nobody can break it. So that homeless is a lot of meaning on me. So that's the first thing about the homeless. Second thing is, God has grace and mercy. So he took away everything away from us. And then, but he provided a lot of great people surrounding us to help us went through all those hard times. We moved 7 times. Wow. 7 times. And then at all the homes we go, we don't know who they are. They just invite us. So in a way, God put us in a trial in that situation. In other way, he had the people surrounding us. So we moving 7 times to the people we don't know. And then we never sleep without a roof. Wow. Always. So it's like it's both ways. I'm going to discipline you, but in the same time, I help you go through all those things. So he never leaves us alone. God never leaves us alone.
That's so beautiful.
So, and then I find out great people in this country. Great people. Great people. This is the best country in the world.
It is, absolutely.
I'm happy to be part of it.
And you've made an amazing contribution to our world through God's grace and mercy. And it's beautiful to watch what has become of the assignment that God has given you. We were talking about that earlier, that we all have a purpose, we all have an assignment in life, and this is the assignment that you've been given.
Yes, it could be. I start to realize it could be my assignment. God had a purpose on me, and then that's what we're doing it. Yes, I agree with you.
Now, let's talk about ChenMed for a second. You're the co-founder of ChenMed,
yes,
which is an organization that I've really fallen in love with. I work with a lot of organizations, but it's not very often that I find a company that truly lives by the core values that they say they're founded upon. And love, accountability, and passion, those are the core values that ChenMed stands upon. Why did you choose those values?
When we decided to choose the love, accountability, and the passion, Jim and I did not choose those 2. We have all 6 of us. That means my 2 sons, and then my 2 daughters-in-law, and Jim and I, we all gather together, and then decide what is our company wants to be. We, in the end, 6 of us agree. Those 3 things: love, accountability, and passion. Love, God is love. So I tell you, you need to love. God loves you, you love God. That's the first one. Accountability means you need to finish your work. We hold you accountable for your work. and then with passion. Passion is coming from your heart. If the target we are doing right now, it goes to the underserved area, you have to have that kind of passion. Otherwise, you cannot pretend. You cannot pretend you have a heart for those people who are less fortunate. That's why you have to have that kind coming from your heart. And then you have that kind of burden. You want to change their life. So that's what we have.
That's beautiful. And minority and lower income individuals often don't receive the same health care that other individuals receive. How does ChenMed address those healthcare needs in the neighborhoods where it matters most?
We turn the table around for them. 70% of the, when I say turn the table around, before the end of this, and you're going to find out what I mean, turn the table around. It's a 70% of the our health care is about changing that behavior. So we told our patients to do exercise, to eat right, okay, to sleep well, and then to have different kind of activities. And then another thing is we told them, we give them, you won't believe it, our PCP give them their cell phone. So they can reach out to them all the time if they have any questions. And then if they cannot get into our office, we arrange transportation. We see them frequently. Our main job is keep them healthy, keep them away from hospital because the hospital only hurt them more. And then, so in the end, I really truly believe our patients get a better care than the one you just mentioned, all the rich people individual. Because you know, we see them often every week, every month. If we need to see you every day, we'll see you every day. So in the beginning, we were talking about a patient very sick coming to us, and then you need to see them every day, you see them every day. And then after that, you change them to weekly and monthly, or that means see them often. They never had to worry about how they get there. We'll arrange for you. If you can drive, it's okay. And then healthy style. Eat right, don't eat those kind of unhealthy food. And then all those things, some of them, sometimes we even demonstrate how to cook in the right meal for them. So we do a lot for them. And then just in order for them to really stay healthy. And then in the end, the result gets better. That's why I turn the table. So now when I see all those patients, actually they are getting a better health care than lots of other people.
And that's why it's called values-based healthcare. So you serve your patients, it's servant leadership, and you serve them with love.
Yes.
And accountability to take care of themselves as well. And the passion of the physicians to make sure that they're valued and heard when they come see you.
Not just physicians, every one of us in ChenMed, we're looking for somebody with that kind of commitment and passion. Do you know what? It's just like in the front, we have a care team and we have the PCP. They have direct contract. In behind, everybody has the same kind of commitment. So it's like you cannot separate both. They have to have that kind. So they are happy what they are doing it. They know what they are doing it, supporting the front person. Does that make sense? So it's a whole company have same kind of mindset, what they want to do for their life. And it's a whole organization, not just a few of them in the front. No, every one of us.
Mary, one of the things I loved about learning more about your story was that you openly share your faith. Now, I'm in my late 40s, and honestly, I did not find my faith until much later in my life. But what I've read is it's been a part of you ever since you were very young. Tell me more about your faith growing up. Was it always present within you, or did you find it at some phase in your life?
I am very blessed with my mother's side. My grandmother, she was a Christian. Can you believe so many years ago? 100 years ago, right? During that time, how many Chinese are Christian? Very few.
Yes.
And she was a Christian. And then my aunt was a Christian. And then my mother was Christian. So when I was very young, I had a faith. Do you know what? A lot of people, they want to know everything about God before they believe God, which is okay too. But me, it's different. I'm very simple. I have a very simple faith. I believe whatever it says in the Bible. I don't argue with the Bible. If there's a God, I believe there's a God. God loves you. God loves you. I have such a simple faith. I think maybe it's like when I was young, that's how I was told. You just have to know God loves you. He's here for you. So very simple when I was very young. I'm very blessed to have that experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it glows within you. You
Yeah.
feel it.
Yeah.
You feel it. When I talk with you, I can feel that presence, that you're very confident in your faith. And I love that because so many people want to be, but they're afraid to be based on maybe what other people will think or will it make them uncomfortable. But you own it.
But do you know what? I remember when I was young, Chinese Christianity is very weird in Chinese, right? Among Chinese. And I remember when I was in elementary school, one day my teacher asked, who is Christian among all the? I was in the second grade. I was the only one raising my hand. And then I said, that's I am. I'm Christian, so I'm going to let you know I'm Christian. And then during that time, if you're a Christian, your friend will laugh at you. They will have a special name to call you or that kind of, because you're being Christian. I never bothered me. That's who I am. I'm Christian. There's nothing shame to be a Christian. So I would tell them I'm Christian, even they make fun of me. I'm okay with that. I think maybe I have a very thick skin, very insensitive. That's a way of God protect me. Maybe. But ever since I was young, I was never shy away. I'm a Christian. Never.
Beautiful. So let's talk about your book. You have just come out. This is your first book, correct?
Yes.
Please explain the title, The Chronicles of Nai Nai.
Nai Nai means grandmother. I have eight grandkids. They call me Nai Nai. So the chronicle is my story. Original when I wrote this book is for my grandkids to know our life story, to know our legacy, to know God's grace and mercy, how it brings us. It's more God's grace and mercy. But I did not know, I never imagined. You interview me for that book right now. I was not on part of the plan. Somebody interviewed me on my book for that. That was not my plan.
God put me here.
I know.
It's amazing I'm here.
I know, it's amazing. I did not play for that one.
Neither did I, Mary. So in the book, you share a story of how your husband, Dr. James, was given 6 weeks to live. 6 weeks to live. 20 years later, your son, Chris, was in ICU with COVID. How did you navigate those life-changing experiences?
When I heard my husband was sick, and then I heard my son was sick, I was speechless. I could not see, I could not hear. I was completely numb. I don't know how to tell. I'm just like a person completely frozen. I had no idea what I'm. But then I kept telling myself, God is going to be with me. I will never be alone. I kept telling myself, I just have to live one day at a time. I kept telling myself, God, never going to leave me alone. And then I started to recite 2 of the verses when I was young in Chinese. One is, I raise my head to the mountain, see where my help coming from. And then my help coming from the Lord, who makes heaven and earth. Then I know God will help me. And then another one is about the wing. It's like settled in the far inside of the wing or something. And then even there, he will find me. So in that case, those two verses keep repeating in my mind. One is, God will help me. Because I say in the Bible, I have a very simple faith. Second thing is, he always knows where I am. Doesn't matter where I'm going to be, his hand will always reach out to rescue me. So those two verses in between keep me going. So it's do you know what? I don't memorize a lot of Bible verses, but those two are my major things in my whole life. Repeat those two things.
Beautiful.
And then you have to believe. If you have a faith, you believe Bible. If Bible says something, you know it's going to happen, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's why.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I've learned also that we have something in common. I am a mom of 2 boys, just like yourself. And in the book, I love the term that you referred to as a tiger mom.
Yes.
So please tell us a little bit about your parenting style, Mary, when you raised your sons. As a mother, what can I learn from you?
Set a very high standard. Very high standard. Do not, because you know what? Nobody can reach their highest standard, but you have to raise high your standards. And then it's okay they fail, but they have to get up themselves and try it again. It's okay, but you have to get up. And then when they were really young, I told them how to do the work for themselves. So they had to tie their own shoelace. It takes much longer to teach them how to tie the shoelace. I'd rather take time to teach them how to do the basic work. Another thing is, remember, I always it's a struggle. Let me say this way, because all your kids have those kind of homework, do those kind of craft, or this different kind of craft, right? And then I never help my kids. I let them try themselves. And then sometimes the arts or the craft does not look very good. I know it's not perfect, but it's okay. They bring those to the school. And then my son would say, oh my, Mommy, you had to see my friends, how beautiful their craft, all the arts were coming out so beautiful. And then I say, is their parents helping them? Then they would say, yes. And then I say, you want to try yourself, or your parents are helping you and doing that. And then that age on, they knew, I'd rather try my own way. So I told them it's like that's they have to try themselves, even they don't do well. And I told them it's okay, try it again, and then you're gonna get better. That's why my sons actually, with all the arts, all the like a painting, all those things, they have great taste. That's because they started when they were young. Just think about how my son dress up. Beautiful, yes. Okay? Because I let them when they were young. Their parents just don't get, I mean, they have to search themselves and then find out how they, and then all my daughters, they dress very well too. I'm just using an example.
Yes.
They know how to dress themselves and to properly present themselves to the other people. Those, they learn when they were young.
That's true, and I struggle with that as a parent. I'm not going to lie. Like, the science project time, my husband and I usually are the ones that are being graded on the science project because it's 2 nights before and we're all struggling to get it. So I'm learning from you, Mary.
Yeah, it's okay because the life is so, life is not only in elementary school or in a high school or something. It's very long. Let them learn themselves. Yes. And then even make me say it's okay. Get them up and then do it again. Another thing is any of the subject, education is number one. Education. That's something you can never compromise, okay? So anything related to education, if they need any help, we will find a way to pay that bill and have them get an education. Even have to cut my grocery. Trust me, I will find that money to pay somebody to help them. Education, number one.
That's beautiful.
That's something you can never take away.
How does it make you feel, Mary, when you look at ChenMed today?
Grave of grace, God's mercy and grace. But you just mentioned about what we do today. And I've been thinking about how I feel today. I really feel like I fulfilled my life.
Oh, wow.
I really fulfilled my life. And then, like, when I see the patients, they're getting a better care, and they are healthier, I know we are doing something right. You know, I usually like to go to the centers and then watching the waiting room, see how my patients, when they're sitting waiting for them, for their turn to see the doctor, I always have to see their face, see how their face looks like. And then I can see a patient is sitting there with content. They feel like they're comfortable to sit there, or they have some conversation with some other patient who they don't even know. They start a conversation, and I feel good about it. I feel like I love my patients. They are our heroes. I love them. We all love them. I used to tell all my staff, they are our heroes. They are the one build this country for us. How can you not be taking care of them when they get old and give them the best you have? We are staying in the best country in the world. Yeah. They are the one built for us.
That's correct.
We need to take care of them. That's our obligation and our responsibility too. So I see my patients, they're all beautiful. And then another thing is, we sometimes when I go to the different, different centers to visit different center, patients, they recognize me because I'm Chinese, okay? They all know this Chinese because the name is, and they would come here and thank me.
Wow.
What feeling? Your patient will come here to thank you and tell us they're so blessed to have us in their community, taking care of them. I mean, doesn't it fulfill your heart?
It does, because I think I can relate to you so much about patient care as a single child that my mom was a widow and my mom was diagnosed with dementia. And so, Mary, I lived that journey of taking care of my mom, trying to find the right doctors that would listen and help me understand how I could get her the best care. And this was several years ago, and it was a very dark time in my life, Mary. And I didn't have ChenMed back then, but I really appreciate what you have created with your family to give to not only the patients, but the caretakers. I was the caretaker. And I know how hard and how lonely that was when a doctor wouldn't hear what I was asking and would just rush me through the process to just check the box. And I didn't feel that there was love in the process. It was just another patient on another day. And so for me, I just want to say thank you, because that means the world for me as a daughter that lived this.
In the beginning, remember you say about the pandemic during that time, that's how you start with this program.
Yes.
And then by talking to you about taking care of the patient, do you know, like during that time, pandemic, like everything was shut down, right? And then patient cannot go to anywhere or something, and then we use telecom, right, to taking care of patient.
Sure.
Do you know during that time, we have called love call. We call all our patients.
A love call.
Love call. We call that called love call.
Wow.
We assign the patient. We assign our caregiver. You call all the patients love call to see how they are doing it, and then let them know we remember you. And then during that time, some of them, they are like in a very cold weather, and you know, because I'm our patient now in underserved area. And then, do you know what? When you start with the love call, and then when you see your organization, do you know what? That love comes back to every one of us. So in a way, it becomes a love cycle.
Yes.
You show, it's like this is both way, right? If I love you, pretty 99% you're gonna love me back. Yes. So I just find out this is how that love cycle. And then I don't know how they come out that great word. It's called love call. Okay, it is a love call. It is a love call. Yes. And during that time, actually, none of our patients were forgotten. They all know we are connected to them. We cannot see you as often as you want it, but we know there's a connection. And then that love call only take us 1 week to execute every market. 1 week, within a week. Within a week, we come out that one, and then, first of all, we did not know it's going to be last for 2 years, right? But we knew we need to do something. So in the end, almost for 2 years, love call.
Mary, with your book, The Chronicles of Nai Nai, what do you wish readers will take away from this story most?
Faith. Faith. Do you know what? Without faith, without knowing there's a God who loves you, I don't know how to live day by day. I don't know how. I really don't. I keep asking myself, if somebody have no faith, they have no God, what they can hold it? So to me, it's a faith and God's love. That's the most important.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Amen to that. What is something people would not know about you that you can share with us?
Oh, do you know what? I was thinking about this question, and because I know you give me ahead of some of the questions you're going to ask me. This is a question I never told anybody, nobody.
First time, okay.
But lots of people ask, but I usually don't answer. Okay. I have been massaging my face for years.
Really?
Every day.
Wow.
2 or 3 times a day to keep my wrinkle free. I don't know if I said a lot, if I have wrinkle or no wrinkle, but this is what I do, taking care of myself. I take care of my body very well. I put lotion every single day, so to keep my skin does not get too dry. I do exercise. I'm very disciplined. I watch what I eat. Basically, is yes, I'm taking care of myself very well.
Self-care, very important to you.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
This is the first time. Now everybody going to do this.
All right, and here's one more for you. What do you do to relax?
Grow orchids. I love
orchids.
orchids. Wow. I love orchids. I love orchids. Do you know what? I grow so many. I have a lot of thousands of orchids. So sometimes my backyard or my front yard does not have enough tree for me. I used to go to my neighbors, tie the orchids in their tree, get a permission, and then tie the orchids in their tree. So I was in Western before. So all the orchids I tie on my neighbors, when we move, I leave them alone there. Because the orchids, they can, even without care, they will be, and then I start all over again with some new home here to grow orchids, tie all my neighbors. Once I finish all this, I start to go to Merbler.
Wow.
I'll tie the neighbor.
Your neighbors must love you.
I love to grow orchids. That's how I relax myself.
Beautiful, beautiful flower. I would love to know, there's a lot of women entrepreneurs out there. I am a woman entrepreneur myself, and I worked in a career for 21 years in the corporate world, and when I found my faith, I realized that I had another assignment that I didn't know was the assignment God had for me. And so I wrote a quote about 5 years ago in that transition of leaving the corporate world to start my own journey. And what I said is, sometimes in order to find your purpose, you need to lose it first. And I lost my purpose of what I thought I was supposed to do, but what God had the intention of was right there for me. And I had to understand that. So Mary, if there's an entrepreneur out there that is thinking about a vision or a dream that they have, what advice would you give them to do with that dream?
I don't have any dream. I never had a dream. But I have vision and a goal, and I'm chasing after that. I'm chasing my vision, I'm chasing after my goal. Until that means I'm chasing every single day. I don't dream what it's going to look like, but I know I have to chase them, and it become better and better. That's how I do it.
Beautiful.
So during this time, maybe I don't know if you are familiar with what I'm doing right now, because as far as for the ChenMed, we are ChenMed. All my family already, my sons and my daughter-in-law and my husband, and 6 of us, and then along with a lot of staff who have the same kind of mission and vision for us, have kind of like a passion. So feel like ChenMed is in good hands.
Yes.
In very good hands. So then I started to do something else I wanted to do in my whole life also. Remember, I always want to take care of the older people, because who are our heroes.
Yes.
And then we need to take care. That's why we want to provide them. The second one is kids under 18 years old. I keep remind myself the reason I'm here today is because of my parents. They are my heroes. They emphasize the importance of education, okay? And then they sacrifice everything for us in order we can achieve our better education, chasing our vision and goal. And then when I see those underserved area kids, they don't have the parent I had before. They don't, okay? They don't. So I'm starting to really focus on the area, on the underserved area for the kids, 6 to 18. What we study is, we're starting a wrestling program, wrestling and tutoring program.
Your sons used to wrestle.
Yes.
I read.
Yes. So it's tough one because I find out the wrestle is, kids have so much energy.
Yes.
They had to find a way to get rid of the energy. So that's why if you had the parents, they may set the kids in different kind of sports, right? But for the underserved area, they don't have that kind of choices. So do you know what? They have so much energy. They fight on the street. So my thing for this is, you don't have to fight the street. If you want to fight on the mat. That means in the uncontrolled environment, you're welcome to fight on the mat. And as much as you can, we even get the trainer for you. And then in the same time, we have the tutoring program. That means if you join the wrestling program, here's a tutoring program who can help you on the academic part in case. So that part is, do you know what? I keep saying there are so many good people in this country, right? So many people. When I start with this program only a few months ago, we find a couple. They have exactly the same kind of passion. They want to do something for the underserved area. Do you know we just opened not long ago? We already have over 100 students registered in a wrestling program.
Wow.
And then the tutoring start to kick off. Can you believe that? And then, not just that, a lot of people in the underserved area, they find out this program, they start to really join to see what they can do. This is my next assignment. Is I really want this program, because I know ChenMed will continue. ChenMed is doing, and then this is another program, being older and younger one. I can see this program. I want this program to go all the way across the country, to have all the people who do not have what I had before, given a chance to fulfill their dream, their life. So give them training themselves, be disciplined, in the same time, help them on the academic area, because you have to have the education. Not just in this country, in everywhere, right? You have that education, good education, in order to achieve what you want to achieve. So this program is doing pretty well. It's better than I thought.
Beautiful mission.
Beautiful.
Beautiful mission.
Even for the younger one.
Yes.
And then If you get a chance, stop by there to see
I absolutely will.
in the afternoon.
Okay.
Boy, and then it's like and then we provide. It's free, completely free, because we don't want to have a different like somebody pay something. I don't want that.
Yes.
I was very poor when I was young.
Yes.
I know how that feel. My friend has to pay and I don't have to pay. I don't feel good about those. Okay, that's what I feel. So doesn't matter your background, you're rich or poor. No fee. Chen Family Foundation sponsored it.
Wow.
And then we even provide them food. So there's a food, healthy food, okay? Has to be healthy. Healthy food and drink all the time because they are growing up, they need nutrition. So we teach them how to eat right. We teach them how to be disciplined and in the education. This is something we're doing now.
Mary, I can't wait to see this. I can't. And I'll end our questions with saying that I really connect with your faith. I connect with your perseverance, your journey, being a mom. And I think about the role model that you have created for so many in your organization, but just whoever will be listening to this story. And my mentor is the wonderful leader, Dr. John C. Maxwell. And I learned from John a few years ago that it's the law of magnetism. You don't attract who you want, you attract who you are. And so I feel that because of who we are, God helped us find each other.
Yes.
And helping you tell your story and share your story of the Chronicles of Nai Nai, I can't wait for so many people to hear more of your story. So I just thank you for allowing this space, this beautiful space, to have this interview and for sharing your wisdom today, Mary.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Coffee with Kelly is also free. And I believe that if you do something that's good and don't expect anything in return, then the right people will show up.
Yes.
That
always.
need to be in the room.
Yes, always.
So
There are
Mary, thank
plenty
you.
good people in this world, especially in this country.
Yes.